Listen, getting successful, whatever you consider successful, if it's rich, whatever, it's not a magic trick. It's not God picks certain people he'll make rich and certain people he don't. He gives all of us as his children the power of choice. You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, and with God's help, it's highly doable. But you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. I'm no better than none of y'all. I'm not a better person than you. I'm not a better Christian than you. God don't love me more than you. None of that.
What God has in store for you when you're willing to say yes, when you're willing to move forward, when you're willing to come back again and again and again in pursuit of your dream, life will respond to you. You'll discover some things about yourself. Mindset transformation is very important. Be ye not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You don't want to think like everybody else. You want uncommon thinking. Here's the other thing. Expand your skill set. This is the age of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. So you have to expand your skill set to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. When I was a kid, you got on an elevator, I was an elevator boy. What floor, please? We operated elevators manually. Then we're going through creative destruction. Somebody created an elevator that didn't require a person being there employed to close the door and take the people to the designated floor. When I was a kid, girls would say, what do you want to do when you become an adult? I want to be an operator, a long-distance operator. Years ago, when you made a long-distance call, you had to call a long-distance operator. Then somebody created technology that you can dial direct. Am I making this up? Anybody remember use that call a long-distance operator? It's called creative destruction. Somebody created technology that we don't have to do that anymore. So today, what multi-level marketing does allow you to secure your future, to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. You can hire a PhD or an MBA in the Philippines or India for $2.60 an hour. So what you're doing is you're staying ahead of the game because we're going through continuously creative destruction. Think about Mr. Washington. Young man, yes, sir. What do you want to do with your life? I want to buy my mother a home, sir. I want to take care of my mother. You do? Yes, sir. I want to make my mother proud. How can you say you want to make your mother proud and you were in the dean's office the other day for fighting? Sir, they called me DT, the dumb twin. So you're going to fight them? Yes, sir. Why, Brown? Why? Anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. How do I get even, sir? Tell me. They pick on me all the time because it takes me longer to learn things than others. I'm not like my sister at the University of Miami. I'm not like my brother. They always compare me to him. Mr. Brown, you want to get even? Yes, sir. I said, you have a good memory, young man. Yes, sir, I do. So I do say, remember these words by Frank Sinatra. The best revenge is massive success.
The two things we need to understand, awareness and the mind. Let's define what they are. Let's define awareness as a glowing ball of light. So imagine an orb, a glowing ball of light that can float around. Let's call that awareness and put that aside. Now let's define the mind. Let's define the mind as a vast space with many different areas within it. One area of the mind is angry, hatred, jealousy, joy, happiness, sex, food, art, science, technology, a whole bunch of different things, right? Your awareness, that ball of light, can actually move to any area of the mind you want it to go to. So if your awareness, this glowing ball of light, goes to the happy area of the mind, it lights up that particular area of the mind, you become conscious of being happy. Are you happy? No, you're in an area of the mind called happiness. If this ball of light goes to the angry area of the mind, it lights up that particular area of the mind. Are you angry? No, you're in an area of the mind called anger. And by using your willpower and your powers of concentration, you can actually take your awareness, this ball of light, to any area of the mind that you want to go to. And here's the most important part. Where your awareness goes, that's where your energy is flowing. So if your awareness goes to the angry area of the mind, your energy is flowing there, it's actually strengthening that particular area of the mind. So this is the theory of it. So let's do a little practical exercise to see if this actually works or if it's just some monk talk. Okay? So for that, I need some audience participation. I need all of you to sit up straight in your chair. And put your feet down on the ground. And if you're leaning back in your chair, sit forward a little bit. Keep your spine straight. Roll your shoulders back. You can keep your head nicely balanced on top of your spine. Your eyes are closed. Don't worry, we're not going to chant or hold hands until later. Just kidding. So take a slow, deep breath in. with your eyes closed, take a slow, deep breath in, slowly exhale, then take another slow, deep breath in again, and then slowly exhale. I want you to become aware of the chair that you're sitting on. Is it comfortable? Is it not comfortable? The temperature of the room? Is it cold? Warm? What about your body posture? Is your spine straight? Your shoulders roll back? You're sitting a little bit forward? Your head nicely balanced on top of your spine? Now I want you to become aware of the most recent wedding that you attended. Do you remember whose wedding it is? Were you happy for the couple getting married? Try and think as much detail as you can about the wedding. Do you remember what you wore to the wedding? Do you remember what the bride wore? Did she make a good choice with her dress? How was the food at the wedding? Alcohol? Did you drink a lot? Was there good music? Did you dance? Did you do some crazy wedding dance? Now I want you to become aware of the most recent vacation that you went on. What kind of vacation was it? Was it a surfing trip, yoga retreat, holiday, shopping, camping, backpacking? Try and think as much detail as you can about the vacation. What was the weather like where you went? Was it cold, rainy, hot, humid, dry, snowing? Do you remember the favorite hotel you stayed in? How was the food? Bland, spicy? Did you get sick eating the food? Did you shop a lot? What was one thing you bought on the trip that you really liked? Your eyes are still closed. I want you to become aware of the room again. Try and feel the temperature of the room. Is it warm? Is it cold? The chair you're sitting on, is it comfortable? Is it not? Is your spine still straight? Are you hunching? Are your shoulders rolled back? Okay, slowly open your eyes and you can lean back in your chair. Well, thank you very much for doing that exercise with me. That exercise is really to prove two things to you. One is there's a clear separation between awareness and the mind, two completely different things. Second is you can actually take your awareness and move it to any area of the mind you want it to go to. Well, you gave me permission to do it, so I took your awareness from the room, I took it to an area of the subconscious mind where the memory of the wedding resided, and then I took you to the vacation area of the mind, and then back to the room again. How do I know you were thinking about the wedding? Well, I had my eyes open and your eyes were closed. And when I asked questions, I could see the reactions in your face. Did the bride make a good choice with her dress? A couple of you went, okay. Did you drink too much? A few heads went down. So I knew you were thinking about the wedding, right? So I took your awareness to different areas in the mind. This happens all day. All day we allow people and things around us to dictate where our awareness goes in our mind. Let's do one little exercise again just to emphasize this point, because to me this is really, really important, and it's the crux of crux of really managing energy in your life. Can you remember your first kiss? Do you remember who it was? Do you remember his or her name? Do you remember where it took place? Back of Dad's car? Behind the garage? What was the experience? What was the emotion that was associated with that experience? Come on, really think about it. It wasn't that long ago. Come on. Were you embarrassed? Were you nervous? Do you remember? Do you remember the person's name? Okay, some people are laughing, blushing. Do you remember the first time someone you loved, someone really close to you, passed away? Do you remember that? Do you remember getting a phone call, being told that this person that you loved has just died? How did you feel? What was the emotions associated with that experience? Did you have the blessing of being able to see the body before it was cremated or buried? Do you remember standing next to the body, wondering how it felt, knowing that you'd never see this person again? How did it feel for you? Do you remember the emotions? Isn't it interesting? In the space of 60 to 90 seconds, I took your awareness from an area of the mind where all of you were smiling or giggling or slightly embarrassed to an area of the mind where all of you are completely sad. Or not sad, or just feeling the vibration of the room just completely changed, right? And I could take your awareness now to an angry area of the mind where you all get angry, you get up and you leave, and Sarah and the team would be really upset with me. And this happens all day, right? All day we allow people and things to dictate where our awareness goes. And because they dictate where our awareness goes, that's where our energy flows as well. And where our energy flows is what manifests in our life. So really the goal in life is not really to control your mind, but rather to control where your awareness is going within your mind. So don't control your mind, control where your awareness goes within your mind. How do we do that? We do that by learning how. So your spiritual practice or your homework for taking away is to control where your awareness goes in your mind throughout the day. And that's really it. How do we do this? We learn the fine art of concentration. First, let's define what concentration is. Define concentration as the ability to keep your awareness on one thing for an extended period of time. So if I can keep my awareness on this lady and hold it on her, I'm concentrating. If I allow my awareness, my ball of light, to move away, I'm getting distracted. I use my willpower and I bring my awareness back and I hold it on her. Being able to do that allows me to concentrate. Most people can't concentrate for two reasons, right? One is they've never been taught how to concentrate. Second is they never practice concentration. How many of you growing up here in school had classes on concentration every single day, the same way you had classes on geography, on math, and science? Anybody? I travel all around the world and I ask this question and nobody puts their hand up. How many of you, when you were growing up in school, were told to concentrate? Isn't that amazing? You get told to concentrate, but you never get taught how to do it, right? When I was growing up, I got told to concentrate all the time. Dandapani, concentrate on doing your homework. Dandapani, concentrate on eating your food. Anybody want to show me how to do it? No.